Thank you so much for joining me for part 2 of the Stationery Styling Series. This video is going to be all about how to get the best lighting when you are shooting your stationery and your paper goods. We're going to talk a little bit about how to use your space to your best advantage when finding lighting in terms of the time of day, where in your home, as well as using styling boards to aid you when it comes to finding a spot that will work for styling your stationery paper goods. First and foremost, it's really important to remember that everybody is working from a different space. Your lighting might be a little bit different in your home from someone else's lighting in their home. And for that reason, I'm going to try to give you some tips for finding lighting that is going to work to your best advantage when you are styling. For the next part of the video, I'm going to be turning the camera around and showing you where in my home I like to style my paper goods. That way I can show you a couple different options, what works best and what does not work best, especially when it comes to lighting. I'll also add that if you are a photographer and you're watching this series, you're probably already very aware of natural light and the best practices for shooting items to make sure that your lighting is good. This is more meant for stationers, calligraphers, and designers who maybe don't have experience up front with not only the styling part, but the photography and the lighting part as well. Now I'm totally keeping it real with all of you because as you can see, I have a little bit of a mess going on right now, and that is kind of just part of life. But regardless of the mess that you might have or the way that your office or your space looks inside your home, you will probably still be able to find a good spot for lighting. I am really lucky to have these nice 2 windows in my office space. So what I normally do is actually right under where this gooseneck camera holder is, and excuse the litter box and the cat crate, this is usually where I like to set my styling board because it gets a generous amount of light from this window. I don't like putting my styling board on this marble piece right here because the lighting is actually almost too strong from this window, which is why I prefer it to be down here because I can control the amount of light a little more. I've gone ahead and set my styling boards down here. This is where I filmed the first styling video, and I'll continue to be filming them just because when I tilt my camera, the lighting, the natural lighting here is just really, really nice. I have 2 different colors of styling boards, this beige and then a gray one as well. Excuse me, gesturing with my foot. So both of these work great, and I made them myself. And if you want to see the link for that tutorial, then just look at the description of this video because I have a blog post about how to make styling boards, and styling boards are super important because they're lightweight and you can transport them anywhere. Now that I've shown you where I like to shoot my paper goods and kind of what my setup looks like, I'm going to actually walk you through the rest of my apartment to show you why other spots don't work as well, and also talk about some other options for your lighting and your styling if you don't have big windows with natural light that you can use. This is Zuko. I moved his crate up here so it wouldn't be in the way. Okay, so I have my styling board in tow, and this is the rest of the apartment space. And as you'll notice, once again, excuse the mess, I do have that patio door over there, but the rest of the space is pretty dark, and the last thing that you want to do is try to shoot any of your paper goods in an area that does not have natural light. And if we continue this way, here is the bedroom space, which is a little better lighting wise. So I'll show you a quick option. If I wanted to, I could open this up. I could put my styling board right here, because that gets really, really lovely lighting as well. And by the way, it is currently morning here. My apartment faces west, so in the evening the lighting is super, super strong right here, and we'll actually see rays of light come through. What you want to remember when looking for a spot with good lighting is that you need all of the lighting to be even. So like I said, since my apartment faces west, I like to do some of my shooting in the morning because that's before the rays of light have come through the patio doors and through the other windows in my apartment. The light gets really strong and it creates a lot of shadows and difference between the shadows in the lit areas, and that just does not make for a good photography setup. I know a lot of you are probably thinking, what do I do in the situation that I don't have windows that receive even natural lighting at any time during the day? You might have an apartment that maybe only has 1 or 2 windows and they don't face a good direction to get natural lighting. So the last option is to actually take your styling board outside. And like I said, I do receive good natural lighting here in the morning. But since styling boards are so lightweight, it's really easy to even carry this out behind your house, to a yard, to a nearby park, and anywhere close that receives natural lighting. If you do opt for the natural lighting that's in an outside space, just make sure that you find somewhere that is shaded, because in the mid-afternoon when the sun is shining directly down, that's not lighting that you are going to want for your pieces. So find some shade that's still receiving good natural light, and then that's a perfect way for you to begin styling your stationery items. All right, I've stepped back into my office space here, and since I have this fancy gooseneck iPhone holder, which, by the way, I will link that below so that you can shop for it if you want to. And we have another cat interfering, of course. I will go ahead and fasten this into the gooseneck holder just for a couple other notes. All right, so here is what the shot looks like. Excuse me. Here is what the shot looks like with my stationery pieces. Wow. Come on, honey. With my stationery pieces laid out and dirt tracked onto the styling board, thanks to my cat. But this is kind of what it looks like now that I have my lighting in place, and it just has a really even, an even look to it. There aren't any shadows cast upon it, making it look unbalanced or making pieces look different from one another. So hopefully those tips and tricks about lighting will have helped you a little bit in figuring out how to create better lighting for your stationery pieces going forward. Okay, so that's pretty much a wrap for this second video, the second part of my stationery styling series. I really hope that I was able to help a little bit with finding good lighting for your pieces. I know that everyone's homes are different. Just try to get your styling board as close as you can to the best source of light that's in your home or your apartment, condo, townhome, wherever you are living. And like I said, there's always the option of being able to go and style outside. And I do have friends that use that option, so it can definitely be done. If you are interested in learning how to make those styling boards, I've linked that information below, and you'll also find links for our amazing sponsors, Honey Silks and Company, Marbella Dish, and Gold and Bloom Floral and Design. So make sure to go ahead and give them some love as well and to check out their sites. And I can't wait for part 3, because we'll actually get to the do's and don'ts for styling your paper goods and pulling the props in and all of that fun stuff. So stay tuned for video number 3.